I think we're live. Stream controls go away for you, but I think we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this week's 1:30 on a Wednesday, on the Thursday, the day before Black Friday, aka Thanksgiving. Here from the Black Friday Cyber Monday High-Tech Command Center, here to tell you that I'm Amir Bianchi, founder of BMeyer.
I am TYJ, the Yannick James Head of Growth here at BMeyer.
And as you know, BMeyer is an e-commerce and web development company founded in Brooklyn, New York, but we serve the world and the North American sector. Today's episode is live, as I said, from our command center, and we're serving up a full table of e-commerce excellence right in time for the holidays.
Super exciting.
As you saw, the title of this episode is What is on your BFCM plate? Food and subscriptions, aka retention, Only Wagyu's path to market, subscription, holiday box, the importance of 3PLs for creating delight for your e-commerce. This is the Ecommerce Hotline, brought to you by BMeyer.
BMeyer.
Yeah. E-commerce. If you need help with e-commerce but don't have time, call Ecommerce Hotline. Ecommerce Hotline. If you need help to make your store shine, call Ecommerce Hotline. Ecommerce Hotline. 888-499-3266. 888-499-3266. Wanna see you win? It's time for you to shine. Call Ecommerce Hotline. Ecommerce Hotline.
The E-commerce Hotline, brought to you by BMeyer.
And we're back. So today we have four great guests coming up, and we're exploring the relationship we have as consumers with food brands, because Thanksgiving, food, best plate time of the year. Open up a couple belt loops. Food brands and how subscription e-commerce is creating stronger pathways for customer acquisition and retention. Buzzword. We are talking about the logistics of subscriptions and how food brands are leveraging 3PLs to create joy with their subscriptions. We have a brand spotlight segment about Only Wagyu. Oh yeah, I forgot to add his video, and he definitely didn't send me one. Let's hope he shows up. I hope you're gonna show up, man. We allowed you a plethora, and we've got. Sorry, I just got off my talk track. But anyway, they found a pathway to market by investing in brand legitimacy with us and their wholesale expansion, which has allowed for a plethora of options for retail customers. Thematically, this episode is going to talk a lot about food brands and CPG, as it's Thanksgiving and food is on our brain. As part of the Black Friday Cyber Monday coverage here on the E-commerce Hotline, we asked the question, how can brands use subscriptions during the holidays to catapult their success into 2025? Reminder that SMS is open. If you text the number below 888-499-ECOM, aka 3266, as you heard of the jingle, tell us some of your favorite food brands and how you engage with them on a direct-to-consumer channel. Do you, one of our watchers, subscribe to any food products directly to a brand? Hit us in the comments below. I know many of you are watching. Thank you for tuning in. Onwards and upwards. So this brings us to actually our first guest of the day, and I'm going to bring her on.
Yeah, super excited to talk about this and talk with her. Subscriptions have really taken a front stage in the e-commerce space. So let's bring her on. Woo!
Hold on, we're just going to pin her.
Yeah.
We have with us today, Shannon, you might have to just adjust yourself a little bit, like make it so that you're more down. Yeah. We just want, oh my gosh, wonderful.
Oh, Shannon is definitely down.
If you were watching this on the other end, you'll see why, because it's a really cool anime 3-frame. Shout outs to the AV team. So our first guest is none other than Shannon O'Boyle from Smarter. Smarter is a subscription and loyalty engine focused on Shopify brands that is addressing this specific important corner of the market, and they saw a better way. Shannon, can you please introduce yourself and tell us what makes Smarter unique? But start with a glowing introduction. I'm gonna go shut off my washing machine because, as you can see, my whole camera is shaking, and that's because of the vibration of the spin cycle. I'll be right back.
I love it.
Live show, everybody, live show. So yeah, Shannon, talk to us about that.
Love a good spin cycle. How's it going? Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for having me. As Mayor mentioned, my name is Shannon. I head up partnerships here at Smarter Subscriptions. At Smarter, we are a subscription platform that works solely with Shopify brands. High potential Shopify brands is really who we build for. And I think like when we were diving into it before, we were talking about what makes Smarter unique from all the other, subscription loyalty apps out there. And I think the main thing to call out is we're very much an opinionated product, dare I say, a smarter product, right? Ooh. I think when someone's looking to implement subscriptions and they're thinking, what's the best practice here? You don't have to think about it. Smarter's default setting is the best practice. So we take a very holistic approach to subscriptions, and what I mean by that is we're thinking about, okay, yes, what type of subscription program do you want, but also how do you acquire subscribers? How do you continue to engage them and continue to grow that over time? The results speak for themselves. If those that work with Smarter within the first year are seeing upwards of 350% subscription revenue growth.
Well,
so
really
yeah, I'm just gonna cut in and say that's refreshing, just like a nice refreshing
drink sip. Love that.
Refreshing.
Yes.
And it's refreshing to hear that because we've put a couple brands on Smarter, and I would say that's what stands out with Smarter is you get a really focused team and group of individuals who are all focused on making you successful with your subscription engine. Many brand owners are like, oh, why should I invest in advanced subscription software if Shopify does it out of the box? And it's like, you don't know what you're missing, so hit them up and check it out because you can actually build a more tailored experience. And I think that's what we're looking for in this world, is to move away from just websites. And what does your brand experience look like? This helps you deliver that. So next question.
I think also,
go
sorry,
ahead.
not before you jump to the next question.
Please go.
I just really love with Smarter the fact that you tie in the loyalty part of it, right? And it becomes, like you said, like it's a holistic view because people love to be appreciated, right, for their spending and being acknowledged. And so when you're able to tie this up subscription with that, then it's just really giving like proper data for a brand to, again, like you said, engage and follow up and remarket or retarget as well. So I think it's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for calling that out. I think like one thing on that note, and I'll get into that a little bit further as we go along, but I think it's like when we approach loyalty, there's so many loyalty options out there today, and it's almost like a point solution, and it wasn't making sense. Like we saw so many brands where they had subscriptions and they had loyalty, but the two weren't speaking together. Like subscribers were not, of all customers, were not getting loyalty points, and that to me doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because they're your most loyal.
Entirely. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to bring this back, two things. Yannick, move a little to your left so you can be more in frame. Second of all, here's the next question. How can brands add delight to the experience to keep subscribers coming back? Because I don't know about you and me, but I'll subscribe to get one or two, but then, I didn't intend to do it long term. So how do you make that subscription delightful? And then, Shannon, we've got a shout out to just move a little lower if whatever you can. If not, just we're going to deal with it because this is e-commerce hotline for all those who don't know. Oh, and that's a nice background mirror. So anyway, e-commerce hotline for all who don't know is guaranteed to have technical difficulties during a live stream. It's part of the fun. So
that's why we're doing it.
Yeah. So
shout out to Myra, our team member. That's
shout out to Jamie in the booth. Thank you, Jamie, the producer. So our brands add delight. How do the brands add delight? So what this means for all those is like, how do you make people keep subscribing? So let's just start there.
Yeah, no, I love this question. Thank you for asking it, to be honest. So here at Smarter, like we're big believers of going beyond the standard like subscribe and save discount, right? I think like when subscriptions first became a thing, the core reasons for someone to actually choose a subscription is a discount and the pure convenience of it. That's not really the case anymore. Now, when you think about a subscriber, if I'm subscribing to a brand, that means I'm committing to this brand. I want them in my life. I want them in my, you know what I mean? Like every dollar I spend, especially in this economy, like I'm thinking about it. Every text message I receive, I'm thinking about who it's coming from. I'm very diligent about that. So as a subscriber, I'm committing to your brand, and my expectation is that you commit back to me, right? And what does that commitment look like? And that's where, Smarter comes in, and those are the questions that we start to ask. What does that look like? So it looks like giving the subscriber autonomy over their customer journey. Yes, that means they cancel any time, but that also means like I can choose when my next order date's going to be. I could gift that next order to a friend if I have a little too much product. That
redirect.
Subscriber only exclusives and perks, right? I want to feel special. I'm committing to you. Make me feel special.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think you hit, like, because your customer management dashboard for customers to self-manage has additional features. And these are the things that brands need to think about. What are those edge cases that you don't really think about to turn on the subscriptions? And that's what I've found, is that the Smarter team will be there to back you up. So it's like another set of hands. And I think that's something we always prize for. And so anyhow, the thing I was going to say from there, since today's topic is about food and we have about 4 minutes left in the segment, so I want to pack it all in because I
got a lot to say.
Yeah. So what are some brands showcasing delightful experiences for subscribers, particularly food brands? And you can feel free to share your screen. We have prepared for that, I believe. And if, we'll find out the hard way if we didn't, but we prepared for that. And then I guess during this holiday, and then you can just double because they're going to have these experiences on the site. During Black Friday, Cyber Monday, what are some ways subscription programs can be used to stand out during these sales periods? And how does that relate to next year? Meaning, you pick up subscribers now you're booking revenue for 2025, which I think is important for projections and overall your momentum as a brand going into the next year. So that's about packed in. Answer that around food. You got 3 amazing dedicated minutes or 4. Crush it.
Killer. Well, I have some awesome examples. I think when you talk about like a delightful experience for a subscriber, one of the brands that first comes to my mind is Dough, if you're familiar with them. I will share my screen if allowed. Let's see. You
have permissions, and we are going to switch to our screen sharing view. I messed something up. Hold on. You're good. Keep going. Oh, I know how to do. Bang. It's fixed. All right. Carry on. Tally ho.
Delicious.
Perfect. So Dough, killer brand as a whole. Everything they do is awesome. But if we go over to their subscription page, first of all, they're calling it a membership, right? Not only are they offering a 10% discount, right? They go beyond that. They're offering early access to new flavors, which if you know anything about Dough, they're queen of collabs. So they're always offering new drops, new flavors, collaborative flavors, and they sell out fast. So getting early access to this as a subscriber is a big perk. And then also, again, granting autonomy, exclusive discounts for subscribers only. And then the cool thing that I wanted to call out from a subscription standpoint is that they offer different ways to subscribe and different experiences, right? So here you could subscribe to a single product as, a normal subscription program would. Here you could build your own box, right? Your own
indecisives like me.
Exactly. Try a little bit of everything. Or you could do a flavor of the month club, which is a very cool concept. And one thing that I kind of want to point out for holiday season too, because that can get really interesting and really lucrative for brands. But flavor of the month club, right? Like, again, they have all these new different flavors dropping and you like this product. Why not subscribe to, something that's like, that's going to bring you delight month over month. So from a subscription experience standpoint, creating this VIP membership type of feel, I highly recommend it. And I think Dough is just taking their customer experience to the next level with something like this.
That's really great.
Keep going.
Go ahead.
It's really great that you guys are able to add this utility, right? And that it just becomes way more than subscription, right? A membership program, and it just feeds right into like your overall thesis. So,
you got to really love cookie dough. And also, if I was French, I'd be pissed at this brand for perverting the number 2 with this pronunciation, just for the record. But tell me more. Show me what another brand is doing. I want to see more.
And more so so I kind of hinted at this with the prepaid concept.
Yeah.
And when we think about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, one brand that is knocking it out of the park, I'm going to share a new tab, Brightland Olive Oil. You guys, it's very sexy olive oil. Looks great on your counter. From like the actual aesthetic of the bottle is stunning. So this becomes a phenomenal giftable product, right? And when you think about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? I always love to call out on every Black Friday, Cyber Monday podcast or webinar. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it's a moment in time, right? Yes, it's a huge opportunity for acquisition, but think about it as a moment of time. How do we capitalize on that moment and make sure that we're also leveraging it for Q1, right? This isn't only a Q4 initiative.
Right.
Prepaid is a great way to
keep
do
going.
that.
Yeah.
Prepaid's a great way to do that. I know I'm running out of time, but I'm almost done, I swear.
You're fine. I'm just looking for something. Keep going.
And so basically, this is a 3-month prepaid giftable subscription. I could gift you, Mayor, olive oil for 3 months. And you're getting different flavors along the way. You get their exclusive pizza oil. And from a brand's perspective, right? Like that just went from profit for, end of year to now it's covering me for 3 months essentially. So now we're kicking off Q1 strong. So definitely something to think about. And then also you have plays for Q1 from a marketing standpoint. What happens when the gift ends? You send a Klaviyo flow to say, opt into your own subscription to that person who received the gift, right? So things like that, where you can capitalize on this moment and expand the time in which Black Friday, Cyber Monday benefits you.
Awesome.
And then just a couple other call outs before.
No, that's good. That's what we're here to educate the people.
Serenity Kids is another highly intentional brand that I always love to call out.
Wait, if we're changing brands, I want you to hold up 1 second. That last brand, you're planting the seed, the olive oil seed, the olive seed in someone. It's an experience. You're not just giving a gift. You are giving a delightful experience. I've been gifted some book series for my children in the past, the Book of the Month Club. Well, this is about food, so olive oil. Keep going.
And personalized too.
Yes.
I think that's also what's really special about this experience as well.
And
it guarantees exposure to the product and the brand in a very intentional way.
Evangelizing.
Right?
Brand
evangelism. So now you're getting acquainted with not only the olive oil, but also the vinegar and the fact that they have this pizza oil and like if you were to just kind of go onto the get a bottle of olive oil, you would probably have it, finish it, and you're done. Right here, it's a little bit longer of a customer journey. And then a couple other things to call out from the Black Friday, Cyber Monday mindset. I wanted to jump over to Serenity.
Yes, do it because we're about to play that Oscar music. You're good. Keep going.
Perfect. So they're offering 20% off all pouches through Black Friday, right? Very cool. Obviously, great discount across the site wide. But one thing I wanted to call out about that and something to think about, during this season, is their subscription discount is 20%. So their site-wide discount is not exceeding their subscription discount. And this is so strategic because now not only is everyone getting a Black Friday, Cyber Monday perk, but now you can also position to your subscribers that it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday pricing year-round for you. So you're not diluting your brand because also so many of the visitors that come to your site during Black Friday, Cyber Monday are first-time visitors. So if you're like 50% off the site, they think you're a discount brand when you're not, right? Serenity Kids is a premium baby food company. And if they were to give the 50% off, then I'm only going there when I want the discount. So I think it's like about, again, contrary to M&M, don't lose yourself in the moment of BFCM, but like I said, keep thinking of different ways where you can kind of lengthen it over time.
And I love the strategy side of this to make sure, right, you're not diluting the product. Like, they say Rolls-Royce doesn't have commercials and things like that, right? It's about keeping that high-end level. So awesome.
I could go on for another hour, but I know.
This is a lesson. This is a lesson in production. So I've got a gotcha surprise question before you go. Shannon O'Boyle, a good friend of mine, what are you thankful for this year?
Oh man,
and move yourself a little to the right as you say it.
To my right?
Yeah, perfect. No, you're right. You're right.
Perfect. I'm thankful.
Oh no, you're left. Sorry, mirrors.
Yeah, it's a mirror.
Go the other way.
I'm thankful for your production skills.
Other way. Other way.
This way.
Nope.
This way.
Yeah, that way. This way you're going now. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. A little more.
All right. I'm just gonna.
Nope.
Is this good?
Other way. No, too much. All right, keep going. All right. So what are you thankful for? Sorry.
I'm thankful for my partners like you, right? Like I absolutely love. This is what makes the engine tick. This Shopify ecosystem is like the absolute best, and you're, from when you think about kind of like your career and your day-to-day and how much time you spend at work, it's all worthwhile for working with guys like you. So I appreciate you. And
that is crazy. Thank you so much. We are also grateful for the fact that the way you guys go above and beyond for your customers and the people that we work with, and just in general, people need to work with people. Just remember, at the end of the day, all technology is powered by people who run it. Thank you, Shannon. Your excitement, your energy.
Thank you for sharing these insights and these brands with us today and getting the digestive tracts going.
All right.
Sign me up anytime. time.
Yeah, and then move back in the frame for a minute to say bye because you're way out of frame. Move the other way. Nope, other way. I just want to say bye. Say
Turn,
bye.
spin.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate you. We're going to figure this out more. Bye. All right, that was interesting. We're going to bring on our next guest now. Just keep it moving because of time.
Pew, pew, pew.
So I'm going to open. Yeah, we've got a heavy hitter coming who I need to pin.
Ecom
I need to
Lord.
pin her camera. This live production suite.
Ecom ladies in the building.
Entrepreneur of the year.
Entrepreneur
Of every year. And Gab, we're gonna position you on camera.
And a dynamic cook.
So
wait, a dynamic cook.
We need to get you more in frame. You need to go more other way. Perfect. More. A little more. More. All right, good. And then somehow move back a little bit and up, and you're good. Yes. And then now back more to the middle. Up, move the other way. Sorry, this is so crazy. Other way. Yeah. Right.
There you go.
Little more. It's extreme for your camera, I know, but trust, it's all gonna pay off at the end. All right, now you're just a little close.
The production
just
team is amazing,
and you're good. Just move back so you're not too close up, and you're good. Bang. Okay. Sorry, this is insane. Nice. We don't have a green room, so it's hard to plan that out.
That's okay.
So we are here with Gabrielle San Nicola, good friend of ours, partner legend from Churnbuster. So we've had a good look at subscriptions and how to look at them as a tool to acquire, subscribe, retain, and delight. So let's go deeper. How do you keep your subscribers? What do they call that? Churn. Churn is such a crazy word. It's the sludge of life. We're not, you're churning butter, but churn? What are we churning? We hate churn on the e-commerce hotline. Churn feels like an immovable ocean. So to bust the churn means to disrupt that flow and channel it into more positive horizons and more subscribers. And so we have Gabrielle from Churnbuster here to talk about subscription retention and stopping the churn. So if Churnbuster is a tool in a suite, tell us more about it and what does it do and how it goes, because I'm less familiar, but if you're a subscription brand, you need to not have churn. Churn is your enemy.
You got to bust it.
Churn is definitely your enemy. Right, if you're a subscription brand, you may run into people who are unsubscribing and churning from your subscriptions. Churnbuster is we specialize in recovering failed payments, and we've actually been leading the industry since 2013. So we've been around for quite some time, and our unique talent is for optimization. And we do this with a mix of deep analytics, advanced technology, and hands-on support from our very experienced team. Most brands are using tools built into their subscription platforms before they graduate into Churnbuster, and often see a 10-time return on spend. So we start with best practices for quick wins and then tailor strategies specifically for the brand.
Okay, so then the question is, you made a point about the 10x and the measuring. It's like we're helping you by what are the methods by by preventing churn, and then also you have a measure product or some kind of analytics engine, and also our producer, Jamie, wants you to just roll backwards if you can. If you literally go back in your chair a little bit, just to get a little more height in the camera. Are you able to go back, or are you stuck in a corner?
No, you're good. Perfect.
How much
more? Yes, this, we're not asking for much more. Yeah, this is perfect.
Sorry, my producer, we're getting.
Our producer's kicking our butt on the sideline. So,
that's okay.
So back to what we were saying about this churn engine, the suite measurement, prevention. Go ahead. Tell me a little more deeply about the product, and you're actually able to share your screen so that we can give viewers a visual if you want.
Okay. Well, so let's take a step back.
Yes.
There are two types of churn.
Okay.
Right. So there is passive churn, which happens when your card fails for whatever reason. Right. So on the Churnbuster side, we have adaptive dunning campaigns, which basically intelligently tailor the recovery process to each customer. So we'll use decline codes and other data to determine the optimal mix and timing of retries and communications and offers. And these campaigns are triggered when a recurring payment fails. So like I am not actively involved when my credit card fails, right? So the service happens in the background, and optimization is really focused on best practices, our optimization checklist, and leveraging data and analysis to solve for mistakes that happen on the on repeat.
So that's where it all started, right? So Joe consumer, like many people, you don't either, it's on your debit card, your bank balance ran low, on the rebuild date it failed, boom, now your brand has less revenue all of a sudden. Times that by hundreds of customers, you got a problem. Your CFO is like, where's the money at? Controller's like, where's the money at? We got to pay these suppliers. Where's the money at? Oh, we didn't know, but 900 subscription renewals failed this month and we have a shortfall. That's what you guys help prevent.
That's what we help prevent, right? And then, you know, there's the other side of the people who actually go in to cancel their subscription, right? That active.
Oh, and then it's like, hey, are you sure you don't want 40% off your next one? Like more of that, like at point of purchase, like decision making adjustment, right? Like
exactly, yeah. So with that, like our optimization focuses on using like testing framework to determine like what the best offer is for you compared to Yannick, compared to myself. Like maybe it looks different for each consumer, but we'll also allow the ability to A/B test, so that way you're able to like continually optimize and fine tune your retention strategies, which is pretty core. So with that, our measure tool is a free tool that plugs into any subscription platform that exists. We
like
work
Smarter.
with custom platforms, Smarter, Skio, Recharge, all friends of ours. So basically what we're able to do is plug in to analyze what is happening in your subscription program, right? We'll do a deep measurement of your failed payment reasons and give insight into what that recovery process could look like.
You're saying how you engage those people to get them paying again without making it feel too invasive.
Exactly. Yeah. How are we going to get the most success out of this? And then, you know, we'll offer even a free analyze session with our co-founder. So we're happy to hop on to chat about like where there are some opportunities to be able to grow, be it in your own native platform or in another tool, potentially like Churnbuster.
No, I really enjoy, like when we've talked as, you know, me, head of growth and partnerships, and you know, I have the ability that we get to connect, and you know, you explained to me the first style of churn that happens and how you solve those problems of, let's say, you know, my credit card just I lost it and I forgot that I have the subscription set up. So like, how did you guys make it possible for me to like update it? Is it difficult? That's usually like, you know, a pain point.
Well,
right?
Usually that's in the engine, right? So do you guys, meaning like the credit card update has to be done in the payment method or in that, like I don't think Churnbuster handles the payments, right? Like you guys are not creating a new payment entry form. You're helping them re-enter into the e-commerce engine?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, what is one way you prompt me? Like, what's one strategy if I was a subscription brand and I'm seeing a lot of failures? Like, what's one way you guys tell people like, hey, here's how you can stop that from happening?
Right.
Like,
So you have to look at your churn reasons, right? If you have a lot of churn coming from people who are canceling their subscription after subscription 1, maybe you're offering a really high entry discount that they don't really feel like paying full price for, right? If I came in on like a 45% off subscription for the first one or the third one,
it hurts.
right? It hurts when you go up to full price. So, you know, if we're seeing that people are dropping off after subscription 2 and that's when your discount ends, then, you know, that's a really interesting point, but you have to take a look at like why your payments are failing, and then understand what can be done and how to combat that.
Okay, well, I want to keep going about this, so I'm just gonna say I have two things. I've got your surprise question, but first, the actual message I get from this is that the masses, meaning the collective group of your subscribers, and the individuals, meaning the people that chose to subscribe to your brand, make your subscription program have mass. And what is momentum? Mass times velocity. The more you keep growing and compounding the benefits, the more it becomes part of your brand story. Because, we started with 10 subscribers, then we got to 100, then we got to 1,000, and then it has that viral effect. If you go from up and then down and then up and then down and then up and then down, and your program is dragging, you have no momentum. And so I think Churn Buster is a momentum tool for subscriptions, and that's Mira Bianchi original. And so Gab, I'm going to call you Gab because that you're my friend, but Gabrielle, I apologize. This is one of those letting my guard down moments. But
that's a Bemire name special.
What are you thankful for this year, Gabrielle?
I am thankful for health and family.
Love it.
It's been a long year, but it's been a good one, and everybody is doing well, and I am doing well, and I'm thankful for that.
That is amazing. There's nothing there. Yeah, it's simple, right? Just loved ones and health. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And to see your favorite partners in the New York space, right? When we
Absolutely. I'm thankful for
Collective.
this podcast or this episode.
All good. This is more about what's personally. So I loved your answer, and I don't need any partner praise. You're awesome. Have a happy Thanksgiving. It is always lovely to see you. And like Yannick said, we'd love to see you out in the real world soon. One of these things coming up next month. Thank you for sharing. Folks, we'll give you information about Churnbuster. You can hit up Gabrielle on LinkedIn, just like you can find Shannon on LinkedIn. This is all actionable stuff, folks. We are here to help.
It's your money.
Yep. So, I wanted to say thank you, Gab.
Thanks, guys. A pleasure.
You are the greatest. Have a great day. Bye.
Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Follow Gabs 100%. Don't miss out on that content.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so sorry, the run of show is crazy, guys. This is ambitious. So now we're going to transition, because we didn't just invite you to an episode about food to not have something juicy. And I'm talking real juicy for you. I am going to have to...
Who's got beef?
Yeah, I'm going to try to I didn't prepare for this one in terms of what I'm showing on my screen right now, but I feel really beholden to giving you something of value. So if this doesn't work, I'm just going to give up. But we have our next guest. This is a very special brand. How many of you out there watching love Wagyu beef and everything about Wagyu beef? Huh? How many of you know?
That marble,
first of all, you can't even say Wagyu. Second of all, I don't even see what I'm sharing, so this is awful. So I'm just gonna stop sharing.
It's the Instagram.
It's not working. Whatever it is, it's not working. So I'm just gonna go bring our guest on. The video part got messed up. We'll find a way to get you later because we're running behind schedule here. So without further ado, and you are mostly out of frame. Oh no, you're good. Stay still. It's the thing with Logan. All right. So Logan, you are now getting pinned. Live production is difficult, folks. Don't try
Mr. Wagyu beef himself.
Yes. So Logan, first, as always, welcome to the Ecommerce Hotline. We need to fix your video. So I'm gonna need you to move to your right.
Move to my right?
Yeah. Even if you feel like you're way out of frame on Zoom, it doesn't. No, you
Don't
can't.
worry about
You
the
can't
Zoom.
move the camera. You have to move. Keep going. Oh my God. Perfect. Now you can. If you want to come. Yeah, and you can just move back a little bit. You're good. Perfect. So yeah, no, it's better. Yeah, just move your camera down. Like if it's a laptop clamshell, slide it. Yeah, amazing.
Perfect.
All right, now move to the right a little more. Perfect. You're good. Right there. Okay. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, we have Logan Miller, the founder of Only Wagyu and OnlyWagyu.com as our guest. Logan founded Only Wagyu in 2022, and his mission is, Logan, you got to say yourself, what is the mission of Only Wagyu, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Firstly, thank you, Mayor, for having me on.
And very much to the right.
A little to the right?
Perfect.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
I'll keep wanting to inch forward. You got to let me know.
Yeah, you're good.
Anyways, firstly, I want to thank you, Mayor. Thank you for having me on board. And thanks for all your help throughout this whole journey. But as you were saying, our mission and goal for Only Wagyu is to be a worldwide international supplier of A5 Japanese Wagyu and Kobe beef, directly serving restaurants, hospitality groups, butcher shops, food processing centers, and private chefs all around the world. Right now, we're primarily based in the New York and Miami area, servicing clients in the Northeast region, servicing clients down in South Florida, and we're hoping to expand very quickly and very soon.
Awesome. So that's actually what we're here to talk a little about. So first, I want you to tell us the story of the branding and onlywagyu.com and what was important to you to get right about the look and feel. By the way, check it out, onlywagyu.com. And we came to know you because we were introduced to you specifically to help you design and roll out your initial brand launch experience on Shopify. That experience was originally retail focused. And like you said, with the expectation, you were trying to launch the brand December of 2022. You had some stuff ready to sell in the holidays. However, it turns out that selling to the restaurateurs and addressing the challenges in the overall Wagyu hospitality market was where you're going to find your first success over the last couple years. And that led you to deliver now better products at better prices for your retail customers. So tell us that story about how you, tell us that story about how you found your way to the fact that, oh, you're supplying leading restaurants in New York or Miami and you have a vastly expanding supply. Because just for those watching, Logan has been to Japan. He's been to the Wagyu Olympics. He's been everywhere. This man has dedicated his life to Wagyu. Just want to say that. There is no... Logan might be one of those qualified people to talk about Wagyu. Go ahead.
So it's definitely an interesting transition, just as you mentioned. But when I first started this company, and I'll tell a brief little story about it, I was sitting at one of my favorite restaurants in the city, and I was eating there. And before that, I had assumed my entire life that I'd tried real, genuine Wagyu before. I was completely wrong. I had tried it there for the first time and I ordered far too much. I was with a young lady beforehand. I was trying to impress her, as many young men would like to do.
You were doing it. You weren't trying. You were doing it.
I was doing it, and we both very much enjoyed the Wagyu. However, when the bill came, I almost did a number two right there at the table. And on the ride home, I was silent the full way through, and I just had an array of different questions that needed answers. And that night, following the next 14 days, I think I stayed up every night asking Google and asking whoever, forums, anywhere I could find whatever questions I had about Japanese Wagyu. I had then transferred this passion into going to a local supermarket that had sold Japanese Wagyu, American Wagyu, and Australian Wagyu all right there, where I was able to try all three of them. When I came home that night and I cooked the three for myself, I had fully realized that the only thing that I was going to be focusing on was specifically selling Japanese A5 Wagyu, because it blew out everything else out of the water. It didn't compare, it didn't look close, it didn't touch, feel, nothing. So when I first got into the business and the space, my main goal was to push direct to consumer and retail sales, because like any young founder, I was going for the highest margin, highest sales possible. Right. And my assumption was I was young. I could connect with the youth and utilize social media and really take advantage of the social media that we have today to sell retail A5 Japanese Wagyu. What I slowly grew to realize, as a founder that wasn't backed by any venture capital or any other funding.
Yeah, A12Z or something.
Yeah,
pick you up.
Not having that opportunity and that capital forced me into specific positions and circumstances that I had with my business, where I didn't have enough capital to invest in the marketing and the advertising to really get the product out there. and I pivoted back to what I knew and what my past experiences prevail to me, which I was a B2B sales representative at another company when
You put on the hat.
Yes, when before, so I translated all of that knowledge and that experience that I had selling to businesses, and I went to the first restaurant that I knew down in Miami. It was actually a family friend, so I guess the conversation was a little bit easier to have.
Yeah, the first barrier to entry was a little bit lowered, but they were
It was a little bit lower,
come correct.
but I will say, for a little side story, that client is paying the least amount of money because he gave me the most shit at
First
the
start.
and he full took advantage of me from the start. But we love that client now. We're selling to them for since we've started, and slowly what I realized was that the volume and the way to grow and to really achieve the goal, as we were mentioning before, which is to amass international supply. The only way to do that really is to sell as much as you can. And even if the wholesale margin when I sell to restaurants or hospitality groups, it might be much lower, we're still buying and purchasing at greater volume Japanese Wagyu straight from Japan, getting our prices cheaper, getting our quality better, and therefore when the opportunity arises that our e-commerce and our retail dreams or goals that we had before come to fruition, we're ready to service them at no problem at the best value possible. But for now,
yeah, no, hit it. Go ahead. I'm
and
just
what I was going to finish off with saying is, for now, we're focusing completely on taking over the entire restaurant and hospitality space to service and serve all of the best groups that we can.
So, number one, I'm going to jump right in here. If you want the best Wagyu in your town, anywhere across America, this man can get it to that chef. So have your chef reach out to Only Wagyu hospitality page. I'm calling it audible. Logan, I need you to pull up a browser window. I want you to put onlywagyu.com in one tab and your Instagram in another tab, and make sure when you hit share screen, optimize for video and sound sharing, because I cannot have you on this episode and not show the beef. And in pre-production, I messed that up. By the way, you need to be more to the right, just so you know. This is not Batman, and you are not Two-Face, so move more to the right. Like
it's a production.
You have to understand, it's like you in the frame. Because you're like in a comic book frame. That's it. If you were to just not move any more to the left, you can go more right, but you just can't go more left. All right. Anyway, tell me when you're ready to share your screen and hit it on Zoom. Do that audible because the people need to know. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna switch over to our screen sharing view. Things are getting awesome here. Okay. So Logan, now you don't have to be in that crazy position, just for the record. Okay. So just so you know, this is the Only Wagyu website. Show them the actual beef. Like, go to the homepage. Yeah, do whatever. But just first of all, I just want you guys to see the brand story. So this is Only Wagyu. Notice that it's connected to the culture. You go down, shop by province, because this is one of the questions I have for you. So let's stick here for a second. I want you to inform the guests about the different prefectures and brands of Wagyu and the cuts. So start with the prefectures.
Yes. So I'll preface this by saying many of the questions that I get, or the assumptions that I get when I tell people that we only sell A5 Japanese Wagyu and Kobe beef, that we only get our beef from one place, from one particular supplier in Japan, which that's completely not true. We have access to different farms and different exporters that are located in various regions of Japan, all the way north, as you could see, Hokkaido, and all the way south near Kagoshima and Miyazaki. And when you actually get into the details, you'll actually start to see different marbling patterns, different tastes, different textures. When you go as far as comparing Hokkaido, and you go as low as comparing Kagoshima and Miyazaki. And I'll go by saying Kagoshima and Miyazaki is on the same latitude line as Miami, so it's warm all year around. And Hokkaido is near Maine in America. So
thank you, Mercator Projection, for making this look closer together. Keep going.
Yes, and it may seem much smaller, but the actual length of Japan is pretty long. That way, the cattle that's raised in Hokkaido ends up having a completely different set of circumstances
They
for its
breathe
life.
different air. They live in a different biome. They
Yes,
fed
exactly.
different things, and that results in a different thing on your plate. So now,
Right.
in the interest of, first of all, if you ain't curious, I know you are, because every time you go to the restaurant, they just say A5 Wagyu, you're lucky, or you're eating that Snake River Farms American garbage. So I want you to click on a product now. Show us what the marbling, just show the A5, man. Just hit me with the page. And then also, many of you heard of Kobe, right? Well, Kobe is the most established brand in Wagyu, but that's a brand. That's from a specific prefecture, province, city. They are a brand of Wagyu.
Yes.
So look at the marbling, like click in on this. And I just want guests to know, when you order from this website, you're getting like the real deal at an effective price point, and it comes certified. Like every cow is traced by origin, and I think that's important. And this is where I want you to at least explain that. But also, the fact of the matter is the cuts. So the cuts you sell are filet mignon, ribeye, strip loin. But what are the A5 secondaries like picanha, New York strip? Like you keep hitting them with the. So this is why Only Wagyu. If you're getting hungry, I am. I at least want to try it. I want to go on a Wagyu tour with Logan. But the point is that not only are you getting the traditional cuts, but now you're getting these next pieces of culinary excellence.
Yes. So this goes back to the original point, which is we don't sell Australian and American Wagyu. So our variety and distinction ends up becoming this, which in sense is we at times for specific customers import the entire carcass, and the entire carcass is huge.
Okay.
As you saw on the other pages, that's what in our industry we consider primals. And the primals is three cuts: the ribeye, the strip loin, and the tenderloin. Those, obviously, I'm sure many people that are listening right now have seen at the supermarket because that's what they sell primarily at the supermarket. However, our variety comes in the ability to import whole carcasses and provide you what I think my favorite cuts are from the carcass, which is these three. The A5 picanha, which is on the rump or the ass of the cow, excuse me for the
Right.
language, if anybody's listening. The cow beef short rib, which is right around the rib section. I'm sure people have eaten short rib before at a Korean barbecue Korean barbecue steakhouse or anything like that. A5 just brings it up a notch. And the A5 zabuton, which is also known as the Denver steak, is also a very, very interesting part on the chuck roll of the cow, and that provides for a very, very distinct flavor. My favorite by far is picanha.
Okay. Hold on. Keep going. Then I'm
Need a
gonna ask
oxtail
you
for
to
that.
cut the screen share after this, but keep going.
And then I guess the
Yeah,
only
look at
other
that.
thing.
They even got the cow diagram. You're learning
Yes.
about Wagyu on this website. And then, yeah, this is the last piece. Sorry. This hospitality section. This is what you show to your local restaurateur. Onlywagyu.com/hospitality. You show this to your local restaurateur. And this is what I mean. This man started a brand, and this is where we ended up. Like, he is now working with top chefs across the country. And
bringing great food to, demographics that wouldn't normally have an opportunity to. And I think that's really wonderful and giving back
yes.
to
So
society.
that's actually our next point. Great point. Let's cut the screen share for a minute just because we're on time.
Sure.
And I want to get you more to explain now, and now you're going to want to position to the right a little bit. You're perfect. So, wasn't this episode about food and subscriptions? So, this is what the idea is that Only Wagyu is providing, is that Wagyu is a luxury product, but it also has specific benefits, right? The fat is good fat. It's clearly from a cow that is raised with a prized status. It is
Right.
grass
Low
fed
hormone.
beyond belief, or not grass fed, depending on how they wanted to do it. So the point is that Only Wagyu is eventually, and they have, if you wanted to order right now, you can. And the point is Only Wagyu is launching a box and subscription service as well. And that's because what if you and these are at price points. Let's say there's the dinner. Tell us about it. Tell us a little more about the actual
Yes.
Because this is where it comes into the fact that we can get creative, and I'm going to talk to you about what that means. But first, tell the guests quickly about what the subscriptions are.
Yes. So obviously, when I started this company, my love generated from cooking this beef at home and purchasing it from a supermarket or a vendor that was right next to me. When I first started, I realized that many people probably have only tried A5 Japanese Wagyu at a restaurant setting before, and many different people have many different events or occasions in their lives that they would absolutely love to purchase a pound or two of Japanese A5 Wagyu and share it with their friends and family at a home setting or at a home barbecue or at an event, so on and so forth. So what I had come up with is most people ask me, they're like, how much of this can you eat? How much of it should you eat? So on and so forth. And my personal recommendation when it comes to eating A5 Japanese Wagyu is, in a specific sitting per person, you probably shouldn't consume more than 8 to 10 ounces, which is
and that's still a lot, right? That's still half a pound.
That's still half a pound, and that's a lot, and that's per person. I feel that when you get above this mark, you feel too full.
Yeah, you're like the fat king from Game of Thrones. Call a spade a spade.
Yes.
You're eating too much. You're overindulging in luxurious opulence. Do you, fam? But
no, I don't know. Never said no one ever. You know, I want to be full off the Wagyu.
No, but moderation. So why this matters is you have 3 boxes. You have a box with 2 10-ounce cuts. You have a box with 4, and you have a box with 8. So put yourself in the shoes of the American consumer. You and your significant other, your partner, your roommate, whoever. You got 2 disposable incomes. You want to spice it up. Nice B. Meyer mug, by the way. If you want to spice it up, hey, let's add some Wagyu to our diet every month or this month. Or I want to have a really nice, I could get used to this, but not every day. Bam, you just subscribe to Wagyu. $200 a month. Fresh Wagyu from Japan arrives at your door. Certification in hand. And guess what?
Now you're starved.
You even
to your
sell
family
the grill.
and
You even sell the mini charcoal grill, the yaka. What's it called?
The yakitori. The yakitori grill. Yes.
I just didn't want. I was afraid to speak. I knew that. But I was afraid to.
When we come out with
James Johnny this.
When we come out with the box subscription, which I believe should be around Monday of next week, when we drop that, the lowest tier subscription item, it'll have that as an add-on purchase, and the highest tier subscription item will have that as a complimentary gift. And the way that we came out with these subscriptions, the way that we thought about them was to do a small, medium, large, where it's going to be a monthly subscription, and the small will be a one-time eating. You get 20 ounces. It's for a 2-time use. You get it 2 dinners out of it for the month. The medium will get you 4 dinners out of it, and the large will get you 8 dinners out of it. So the way we thought about
party with friends, yeah.
Exactly. Or if you have a family and you're trying to feed them, so on and so forth. And to go back to your original point, as far as the health benefits are concerned, it's actually a very interesting thing to research. We have a whole page dedicated on Only Wagyu that'll tell you all of the health benefits associated with Japanese Wagyu. But I'll just clear up a misconception that I hear all the time, is that the fat content of Japanese A5 Wagyu is bad for you because there's more fat. People associate fat on meat to more fat on your body. This is completely...
Without fat, you can't digest protein. Real talk.
Exactly. And the more important thing to consider, and the reason why I had mentioned earlier to only eat about 8 to 10 ounces, is because when you compare USDA Prime or any other beef located from any other parts of the world, and you compare it to A5 Japanese Wagyu, but not comparing it pound to pound, rather comparing calorie to calorie, for every calorie that you consume of the counterpart, you are getting more nutrients, more health benefits, more monoleic acid, more creatine, more of the very important things that you need for your diet, consuming less weight of meat, but it's the same calorie count because the fat has a higher calorie count. Now,
these statements are strictly the opinion of our guest and not verified by the e-commerce hotline. Just keep going.
Well,
Open
that's why I always preface this by saying
Do your research, yeah.
it's calorie to calorie, correct? Right? You know, if you consume too much of it and you think, oh, because of what I'm saying, A5 Japanese Wagyu is healthier, and if you used to consume 1 pound of USDA Prime, you should not consume 1 pound of Japanese A5 Wagyu. You're not gonna feel well afterwards. I promise you that. Just like as if you consumed 3 pounds of USDA Prime or 4 pounds of it.
Got it.
But that's as far as our subscription goes. And with this subscription, you'll be getting gifts every 2 to 3 months. The first gift that we would give you is the Japanese yakitori grill. We have a few other gifts in mind. Each quarter thereafter, we may be partnering with some knife companies. We may be partnering with some seasonings and sauce brands.
I love that.
We'll be able to bring best of both worlds into that same box, but it'll be a surprise, just like the rest.
So look,
it's a great pairing for the brands that you're working with, like that you're.
It's great because you can then pair with other food brands, create collaborations. By the way, Only Wagyu's done collaborations with leading YouTubers and chefs, and they have so much going on. Follow them on social media, onlywagyu.com. And remember, we have a special .com, not .com. We have a special code for you. You will get a discount. We don't need to say it right now because it's all pie in the sky, but if you're watching this, which you better be, because if you don't, you're missing out on the Wagyu, Logan has a special hookup for e-commerce hotline subscribers, and you know where to find him, onlywagyu.com. Thank you, Logan. And I have one more question for you.
Where's the beef?
What do you think? Yeah, where's the beef? No, what are you thankful for this year, Logan?
What am I thankful for this year? That's a tough question.
Good. That was meant to be a gotcha. Go ahead.
I'm thankful for this year. You know what? I feel like if you ask a lot of people on the show, they're gonna give you the old and glory. I'm thankful for the family, and I am. I'm not saying I'm not, but I want to think of something something different to tell you what I'm thankful for. And I'll be honest, I think it's I'm thankful for the opportunity to play the game. And I love every part of it. I love being able to wake up and play the game. And it's more so than just like the game of business. It's more just the game of life. And I'm thankful for that opportunity. I'm thankful that tomorrow I'll be able to do the same. And that's about it.
Is Wagyu at the center of your table?
Yes, 100%. It's at the center. It's taking up the entire table, actually.
Right. Absolutely. Please share a picture of that for sure.
Yeah, and and I just want to say, yeah, I think just dedication, right? Like you're a nonstop with this, and I think I just watching your journey for 2 years, and here we are 2 years later from basically the starting point or the midway of the starting point.
2 years ago we were you knew that I didn't have much to do, and I was just growing. I didn't have sales. I didn't have much of it. And
that's what I mean is like just on the e-commerce hotline, we like to celebrate entrepreneurship stories, even though that's not exactly the point of this episode. Is that Logan had a vision, started from nothing but research and an idea and an experience, and 2 years later is doing major things in a landscape that nobody said would be possible. And we wish you the best of luck, and I'm thankful to be a part of that story. And if you need help launching your brand story, you know where to find Yannick and I. And Only Wagyu is living proof. And thank you. Excited to launch the subscriptions. And speaking of that, the delight that you get when you get that gift and how that happens as you scale your operation brings us to our next guest. So I want to say thank you, Logan. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy
Great
Thanksgiving, Yannick. Thank you.
Yeah, hit me up. I'm gonna be in town on Friday. I'll hit you up. I've got something good for you. All right, take care. I'm gonna move you to the waiting room. Cheers, mate.
You might have another one. I might be ordering some of those. Look out for my name.
We're gonna have the B. Meyer cook down. Take care, Logan. Bye. And we have our next guest. So thank you for sticking with us. We are going overtime. Bonus content.
The best setup in e-com partnerships.
Bonus hotline. We're the bonus hotline. We have, oh man, this guy's camera's gonna be hard to position. Are you able to zoom that thing in?
I have no idea whether I'll be able to.
Okay, so we just
live show.
At minimum, please just slide to your right. More. All the way more. You
Yeah, don't worry about the
take
camera.
your laptop with you. Yeah, take your laptop with you. Don't. Yeah, just keep going. And are you a lefty? Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't fall off the table. Oh, you're at the end of the table. All right, shucks. All right, keep going. Your laptop's gonna be on your lap. No, you need to keep going, or else you won't be in the frame. This is real. This is real. All right, perfect. No, a little to the left. A little to the left. All right, you're good. And yeah, if you need your laptop, just grab it. Okay, so intro time. So you know the ways subscriptions can be powerful for brand experiences and consumer delight. But what about getting it there? How does your growing startup or fast-moving mature company create more reliable experiences with predictable, fast delivery times and consistent messaging and packaging? It is your friendly neighborhood 3PL, third-party logistics company. You didn't get into business to be vertically integrated. You just wanted to sell some food. So let them handle it. So today we have Yue Young Rodriguez, and I'm not trying to butcher, but I'm doing my best, from Rocket Shippers, is a 3PL company that is a proud part of Pride Global family. Shout outs to Leo and Pride Global. And so Yue, what are some of the brands that you guys power the logistics for on the food space? And why was it important for them to have the infrastructure? And in the context, please introduce yourself. Thank you and welcome to the Ecommerce Hotline.
I'm extremely happy to be here. Yeah, no, as far as brands, whether subscription boxes or otherwise, yeah, we've got all kinds of different food brands and sort of supplement brands, all the way from like the supplements like Athlete X or like Sunday Scaries that are doing like CBD, all the way over to like Hotel Chocolat or Graza. These guys are doing like velvet hot chocolate. These guys are doing really high-end Spanish olive oil. And what all of these guys have in common is that they're all really catching on to the wave of what is this new buyer mindset? What is important to people, especially every day where we're working more, we're running around more, we're going to pop-ups, we're living that, whether it's New York, San Francisco, LA, any major city, we do not have time anymore. And so they're all realizing this and understanding that consistency and reliability means a lot to the end user. And so for someone, and what that translates to is we have a lot of subscription services that we're working with, and a lot that have popped up, whether we've advised it, whether their peers in our warehouse have advised it from the community we've built. Subscriptions matter a lot, and subscriptions are really almost like a strangely new vertical that a lot of companies are participating in. And so, for us on the 3PL side, when you think of subscription, right, you're thinking of what is the value proposition there? How do you convince somebody to subscribe to your product? And one of those things is time, both on the not having to think about it reliably being there, but then also breaking out that cost over time. When you think of things like, let's say like HelloFresh, when you think of things like Graza, who are doing refills for olive oil and sort of rethinking how people approach these, what was once a luxury that is now accessible, you're thinking, how are people looking at the value of that? And so reliability comes into play because a lot of these customers are breaking these things down daily, right? How much am I spending on olive oil? How much am I spending per meal? And how does that translate to value per day? And so for us on the 3PL side, right? And, for us, this is Rocket Shippers, we sort of push forward that reliability both on the back end for the companies like Hotel Chocolat, like Graza, for understanding what, they're first in, first out, and protecting the quality of their goods while also making sure they can reliably meet that value proposition, that sort of pact that they've made with their customer.
I think that's really well said, and defining the importance of fulfillment for, brand owners, because time value of money, right? It's like, there's a commercial on recently, and it's like, you didn't spend your time getting your dream company off the line to be running back and forth to USPS and UPS. Like, you guys are well informed.
That is exactly the point, because I think Mayor also put it extremely well. At the end of the day, you are here to grow your warehouse. You're here to grow your business. You're not here to grow your warehouse, right? Let us handle that. Let us handle the logistical headache, and you guys can reinvest into marketing or your operations, or just get more product and do the growing, right? Do the selling. Do the things that actually need your attention as a founder or founding team. Focus on what you're good at, and then we can support, advise, and then make sure that while you're focused on quality, we make sure it gets where it needs to go on time or earlier.
Yes, because now we're talking about customer expectations. I would be pissed off if I was expecting my subscription to come and then it didn't come and then it messes it up and you have too little. You're not creating delight, you're creating frustration. And 3PL helps you keep those trains running on time. So what are some of the food brands that you guys power the logistics for? Why was it important to know? I asked you that. What are the things they're doing to deploy the food? First of all, definitely give us, if you have any visuals, feel free to share. But what I was saying is, what are they doing to deploy the food? What extra goodies are in the box? What key points of delight are they creating? Because when you have a 3PL, you can set different routing logic, different rules for your packages. If it's this size order, includes this. If it's this in this box, you have so much customization that you can do at the delivery level to create delight. So I was curious, what are you seeing some of your food brands doing? What are they doing with the packaging? What are they doing with the experience? And that's specifically that you guys allow them to offer, because I want people going through this story like, I've got a subscription engine, I'm preventing churn, now I'm creating delight, the whole end to end of someone who's grown their brand from zero to needing this. So I want to, hone in on that delight factor and what they're putting in the box and what they're doing.
Absolutely. And like I said, all of these customers, whether it's, and I focus on Graza a lot because they have innovated significantly. And so what we do as a 3PL, we're more than just a 3PL. Some people call us boutique. Some people call us consultative. At the end of the day, we're looking to be a partner. And so what that means is we're giving advice. We have a lot of insight and help customers regain a lot of that insight into the data that they normally would lose, both not only outbound towards the customer, right? How fast is the order getting there? What is the condition it's arriving in? But then also on the reverse. What does that reverse logistics piece look like? How are our products looking like when they return? What are those areas of weakness for us that are actually reducing or at times outright eliminating that delight factor that you're talking about, right? And so that's one bit, right? Being proactive, understanding, it doesn't matter how hard that we are working on our product. With most customers, you get one first impression, right? You get one shot. And when you miss that, you miss it for good. They're going to tell their family, they're going to tell their friends that they hated it. So how do we stop that from happening to begin with? And how do we make sure that we're translating that value in a common language that all consumers will understand? So for us, especially with Gen Z really rising up and appearing in the workplace, the way to translate value has changed. So I talked a little bit about that subscription box bit and sort of finding these new ways to deliver value to a relatively tight customer base, right? Because Gen Z, again, this is growing up. This is a generation that does not have access to as much wealth. This is a generation that's growing up into entry level roles, or coming straight out of school with unprecedented levels of debt. And so they can't, it is harder for Gen Z to justify what we call as luxury, right?
Yes.
But what we do and what we can do as a 3PL is by working on the packaging, by working on sort of consulting on how they can spend like this marketing spend. Otherwise, as a 3PL, and Mayor, we've talked about this extensively. Purchases. This is the one lead channel that has a 100% open rate. Everyone is opening their packages. I don't care if I forgot what's in the package. I'm still opening that thing. And so, as soon as I look inside, it is a memorable experience. It is that Christmas experience every day I get home after an awful day at work. And so what we do is we've seen Graza sort of revisit what this luxury experience looks like. When you imagine olive oil, you just imagine a bottle on a shelf at a supermarket, right? They've sort of transformed that. They've switched it into why are people who are spending a lot of money on olive oil thinking? They're either really into cooking, they're going to take it out of that glass bottle and they're going to put it right into a plastic squirt bottle, right? Or the glass bottle is just something they're buying as an amateur chef and they're like, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to put the cap back on with the spigot pointing out, but I'm going to do something here. So they've actually swapped it to a plastic squirt bottle. And so for them, that's actually changed the dynamic for it, because amateur chefs are thinking, I'm going to have to buy one of those. So immediately that's like a small value prop, right? They were able to reduce costs with us on the bottom line as far as the procurement, regain over 18% of that margin back to their company from the previous provider. Yeah, and that's huge, right? And again, that's all margin that either they put into marketing, but for them, they put it into a rebrand first and then pass savings onto the customer as an introduction for the rebrand. So that's a big part of like sort of that value add we do. And for them, on top of that, it's like, what else can we do to sort of take advantage of these lower, to sort of get this resell on this new, unique and also reusable item, right? This is a plastic item. Perhaps people won't see this, even though it's recycled, people might see it as perhaps not eco-friendly. Well, we can not only help them track their green footprint for the entire, to and from in logistics, but we also gave them some advice, and they started sort of a refill campaign where they offer cans of the same high quality olive oil. You can refill the plastic bottle, reuse the can, keep the plastic bottle in perpetuity. And so for them, for their journey with us, it's been very transformative just by nature of first the cost savings, but then the advice and the insight that we get back and forth. And then along the way, for us, again, we map condition, we map quality, we map all the controls, as well as like fraud controls and things like that for all returns. So while they're trying out this new branding, they're having a really good idea of, is it an issue with the product? Is it an issue with the 3PL? Is it an issue with us before it even leaves where we're coming from? Is it a manufacturer? We give them all of that information in depth so they can always make informed decisions.
So you're saying you're giving them, So you're saying you're giving them metrics to tie back to their churn buster, or to tie back to the other metrics they're seeing on the other side, so they have an end-to-end view of how their program is performing. And so
it's a great feedback loop.
Yeah, and I'm filled with like the passion you have just conveyed that Rocket Shippers possesses for how they consult their customers. And shout outs to Guillermo. I don't know which Guillermo that was, but yes, it is a tasty convo, and food subscriptions during the holidays is a great way to build brand loyalty, both by evangelizing and also you're getting revenue booked into next year. You're making it more likely that order is going to keep coming. So you should, if you have a refillable, consumable, consumer packaged good type product, subscriptions are a must. You see it everywhere. So, yes. And therefore, just back to the passion for a second, because I had to shout out my man Guillermo. The questions is this, like, that passion, that consultation angle, I don't think every 3PL does that. And that means there's a high level of people giving a shit about your brand when you work with Rocket Shippers. And there's nothing else to say. Yeah, I can't say it better, right? Like, if there's actually, it's like, I didn't, because the dream of every brand is to add to their profit margin without sacrificing their revenue and their customers. And so the fact that you found a way for them to engineer their packaging, which lowers the weight, changes the dimensions of the box, yada, 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 all the way down to so many factors, then is like, it helps pay for itself, other initiatives. So anyway, that's just stunning. If you're watching this and you're an e-com person, you're a brand, you're stunned right now. 18% cost savings? What? All right. Anyway, last question, and then we get to our wrap-up question. As a brand, what are brands not doing that you wish they would? What do subscriptions do in the 3PL relationship? And are they just another order in the daily flow, or is there something more? That might be too much of two questions. So I would say, what are brands not doing, or pick one of those.
That's a good question.
I think I might be able to blend all three of these incessantly. Okay. So subscription boxes are definitely unique. There's rigid guidelines, and we talked a bit about rigid guidelines as far as the product, because you're translating value, right? Especially if you're on the lower cost end of the subscription box. There is the rigid timeline for translating that value that we talked about. And then on top of it all, there is a lot of opportunity for a lot of brands to jump on. And what are those opportunities, especially in subscription boxes? That's something that does kind of, and again, it comes from a few different places. So for me, personalization is everything. You want your customers to feel involved. You want your customers to pick their value, and people are much likely to choose the premium option if they have an economy option to choose from, right? If I see economy and I've got the money for premium, I'm going premium, right? Even if I don't need it. And so what that looks like for me, thinking about subscription boxes, and this part of this is the 3PL industry. We have an ecosystem of a lot of CPGs, various other consumer electronics, utensils, all kinds of brands in the area. So for me, on my side, I almost wonder, why don't more brands collaborate together? Ooh. People love getting surprises in their subscription boxes. Why aren't people reaching out to people who are in the same warehouse as them and getting to understand where are these areas of opportunity for both of us? Do our customer ICPs intersect? And if so, how can we find a really low-cost way to collaborate together? Because these things are already being picked right next to each other, right? So why don't we find ways to sort of mix up our customer bases, access entirely new demographics, whether, between age and
or mutual values or whatever, right? Like, meaning, like, just from what we saw today, if Doe, who has perverted the French word for the number 2 and taken it for their consumerism, which ties perfectly into my monologue to close the episode, they are doing a beautiful experience. Well, they would pair well with something that you eat cookie dough with. The Golden Spoon brand, the Silver Spoon Club, whatever. There's something like, so it's just think about who are those adjacent brands, but then you guys as a 3PL are being like a dating and a matchmaking service within your network. It's community. And I think that's where amazing. We're seeing it go. The other ones I know offer some kind of benefits like that, or it's just once again, they're putting a rocket engine on your ship and bringing you to market. So
it's leveraging it, yeah, leveraging this insights and information. I think that's really smart to have a partner, 3PL fulfillment that's can do that, and it's down and able to put in, like, and you said, put messages inside of the packages as well too. I think is awesome.
Yeah, and
at the end of the day, if our customers grow, we grow. Our relationship is very proportional, so we are extremely invested in our customer success.
And then that's a great opportunity to shout out the new B. Meyer omni-channel expansion service, because that's literally what it's about. If you are a SaaS brand watching, since most of our audience right now probably is SaaS partners, this is your chance to say, hey, my direct-to-consumer channel SaaS app can make more usage-based money if I help people sell on other channels. Yeah, right. Because the whole goal is you're getting them back to your brand. You're getting them back to your channel where you control. That's where you register the product. So product registration, on and on and on. Therefore, what we're giving you here on this episode is like a playbook for that. And also notice the people we have put on this pedestal are all service oriented. Smarter helps you do your subscription. Not like, here's this tool, how do you use it? Hey, Churn Buster, they're telling you the metrics. They're not just saying, hey, plug this in and hope it works. They're consulting you and making sure you're getting that ROI from using it. And then Only Wagyu, they're making sure their chefs are getting what they need. They're making sure you are getting choices. And once again, I'm sure Logan will talk to anyone about Wagyu anytime. And then at Rocket Shippers, you are consulting brands and helping them become more efficient and scale the program. So look at what's out there for you as a brand as you grow. You need to take advantage of these relationships, and that's what the story of this episode is end to end, how you can boost that program and why we're seeing it so much with food brands and in this way. And so I have one more question for you, UA. What are you thankful for this year?
What am I thankful for this year? I'd say more than anything this year, I am extremely thankful for good company. I've met a lot of incredible, smart people, customers, partners, people in my own life, a lot of people I could sit with and talk to about really unique ideas, opportunities, and then just to be able to have those sit-down parlor conversations with people who are just as enthusiastic as I am. This year in particular, I have met scores of them. And, especially you guys, Mayor, Yannick, extremely thankful to have met you guys this year.
Well, I'm on both of us, on behalf of us, that was definitely one of the highlights of that experience, was meeting you, and here we are. And two, I think you said it best. Like, I've had a lot of people come into my life this year who have been game changers, last year too, and I think we definitely that's something, as people, we feed off other people's energy, or you find the right person at the right time for the right project, for the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a chance encounter, it could be anything. And so I would say, yeah, be grateful for those who are in your life.
I don't think chances exist, right? I think it's all like it's an opportunity, coincidentally, like.
Hard to argue with that.
Yeah, and also just, not to be like that, but we don't know how long someone will be in our lives.
That's true.
So you got to appreciate people while they're here and be thankful for the opportunity to have met them. And so hopefully, keep them close. But either way, that moment of impact happened.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of dope things coming with us and Rocket Shippers as well, though, like on the horizons. Like, we're definitely excited for the alignment and, having you on today and sharing your expertise and your passion, right?
Yeah.
It just shows like that alignment of like who we are and what we're about to here.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So, no, and you said it very well. So, folks, thank you, UA. Have a very happy Thanksgiving. We're going to see you away. Thank you again, and we'll hit you up. Catch you on this, hopefully catch you during the break. And
absolute pleasure.
Yes. And then for all of you watching, do not hang up. Do not leave. Even though we're over time significantly, we're about to be at the crux of this episode. And I just want to let you know we're going to go to a quick 30-second break, and we'll be right back on the e-commerce hotline. Okay, folks, we are back. Hey, Yannick, sorry to put you on the spot there, but boy, this has been an action-packed episode of the e-commerce hotline, and we're going to start winding it down. And as seems to be the theme in our last 2 live streams, we're going to end it on a hot take monologue about something relevant to this episode. So as you digest this, as you're digesting your food tomorrow, you want to ask, why was this important? What is this proliferation of brands? Who's standing out? What's the alternative? What's with all these alternative ingredients like aloe, sugar, and all? You know, Yannick has been to so many DTC events like that Future Commerce, and how many weird sodas and snacks and gummies and things have you tried over the last 3 years, and how many of them are bad and how many of them good? Just give me a quick snap poll.
That's a good question. I would say usually about like 60% positive.
Okay.
I'm a tough critic though.
Okay, yeah, and that's a generous tough critic. So here's the question: where did all these brands come from? Are people just paying money to get people to spend money for market share? What did we as consumers do before DTC e-commerce? How did we consume and discover specialty foods? Where did these strange brands come from? A person with an ambition inspired by a recipe from a childhood memory looking to build the next big thing? Or an ambitious operator solely focused on getting a spot in your cabinet and a shelf spot at every Costco in the northeastern United States? What if they're the same person? This is what I ask. Was the original Annie from Annie's Naturals, you know, the bunny mac and cheese brand, hopefully not Orphan Annie, whatever mac and cheese that is she the 8 Miles of today? Shout out to 8 Miles mac and cheese brand, real deal, been going strong for years. But example, that's started as a direct consumer. It's his goal is retail, but the point is that's a brand that came out of nowhere, a new independent brand going on different paths.
So I met them at Expo East. That's right.
Yes, he met him at Expo East.
Line around the corner.
Exactly. Expo East, Expo West, the Natural Products Expo is like the Catalina wine mixer of food conventions, right? Where you go as a brand to stand out amongst buyers for major supermarket chains and so on and so forth. So where do we draw the line on what's a real brand versus a brand for being the sake of a brand? Look back at your last 5-10 years of your life, Yannick. Definitely less, but look at your Instagram consumption, your feed, your YouTube, whatever you get bombarded with the most. Have you noticed the narrowing of the focus, the bubbleization of you and everyone you hold dear? You know, like one time per year, maybe we're all watching the same commercials now, you know, like the Super Bowl. Right. What is even a shared experience? What do we bond over? We bond over what we consume, the media, the music, the food. Consumption is at the name of the American experience. And so I can guarantee you now that my children did not see the Trix commercial while watching cartoons on Netflix or Disney Plus. You know why? Because it's commercial free. So they didn't see that cereal ad that we used to see. Tricks are for kids. What's in the center of a Tootsie Pop? All these things that are
well done.
Bing. Yeah, you hit me, right? Lucky Charms.
Famous Amos. Famous Amos probably a big one for me.
He's smiling with the cookies. Yeah, and we eating them at the school. So these brands that have been injected into our lives in this way, it's like, where'd it come from? So anyway, what is this shared experience? And like, for example, music. Did you hear? They Not Like Us. They Not Like Us. And if you haven't heard it, and if you haven't heard it, you're not like us. It moves that quickly now. So what is this phantom hand literally ramming brands and musical payola, that's another story, for the sake of brands down your throat? Is it the fact that you're the most amazing curator of culinary excellence? Or are you just a member of a hyper-specific audience targeted by advertisers and advertising networks, tracking your every move, thousands of data points, so they can sell a second of your time, a second of someone else's time who's in the same shoes as you, your eyeballs, to the highest bidder? And what does that bidder want you to buy? A protein-infused, low-sugar Lion's Mane soda with mild carbonation and beta-carotene for color? This is food? Someone cooked this up in a lab to check every damn box on the nutritional hit list so they could get some seed funding to say they are hot. So they can get a VC to say they're the next big thing. So they could redefine a small slot in a category that's already saturated by big brands or standout independent brands.
Or try to create their own.
Yes, owned by big brands now, which used to be independent. So is it still cool to support those independent brands which are now owned by Procter & Gamble? What is it? What values do you hold? So choice is great, but what if you're consuming for the sake of consuming just to feed the ad machine? Why is it if so many brands have failed in the last 2 years? Why? If they were just dependent on advertising, guess what? Third parties like Temu bought up all the ads. Now your cost goes up. So to sell your $5 bar, 8-pack for $40, subscribe and save direct to your door, but then your bagels are showing up moldy. Why are you sending moldy bagels? You're basically the Theranos of bagels. Inside DTC people, you know what I'm talking about, especially the food bloggers. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can buy something doesn't mean you should. So when you're here in the airwaves, which are now, everything's an ad, everything we live in has ads built in or is an opportunity, ask yourself, why do I want this? What purpose does this serve in my cabinet? Why am I doing this? Why does it deserve my wallet share? Just remember, very few thoughts are original these days. Are they as original as that new brand you found? So
I think,
yeah,
harping on what you're saying though, I think you're absolutely right, and where brands are able to take this information and also with the subscription, just tying it back in, that it's increasing your MRR. Now you've got strategic money coming in, as we mentioned earlier, right? But I think it also allows for brands to be a little bit more open to their incoming customers.
No, but here's my point. Why does your brand exist? Who like, as a consumer, we're bombarded with, we don't need 80 gummy fruit snack brands. We don't need 80 deodorants, 82, like, choice is good, but somewhere along the way, the last 5 years, when they started seeing people make rocket ship millionaires, it became another vehicle of investment and another way to say, oh, I'm going to go do this and enter into this CPG space. And that's all I mean, is that you do have people passionate about it, and we've met them, but I just mean there's also a lot of brands that are AstroTurf. Just like a ghost kitchen, just like that new thing, that restaurant that popped up on your DoorDash that's not really a restaurant. So anyway, food for thought. Yannick, what are you thankful for this year?
What am I thankful for this year? I think first and foremost, we had some great answers to that today. For me, I think that it's the opportunity to be myself and work with friends and have wonderful experiences in this life, right? And honestly, I'm thankful for the ability to create. Speaking of which, right?
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, no, and even us on the Maya podcast today, opportunities to create and show value to my fellow man or woman, honestly.
That's amazing. So creator energy, bringing
and value props,
bringing into the world. It's true. And you're involved in a lot of projects and you do a lot of things that are not easy. And I think that's commendable. And that's shares my creative spirit as well.
Yeah.
And
same question to you.
Yeah. So what am I thankful for this year? I mean, this is just going to take a dark turn, but I'm thankful to be alive, man. I have genetic heart disease.
Not dark.
There are many people who have lost loved ones due to this silent killer, the great masquerader, as they call it, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And I'm thankful that I am one of the lucky people who is under the care of top doctors, who's been diagnosed and was not at risk of sudden cardiac death. And, while I did have voluntary open heart surgery, and, I've been through it, I don't give myself enough credit for the journey I've gone on. But I really think it's important that if you're watching this and you're sitting at your table with your family this year, ask about family heart history if you don't know. Has anyone ever passed away suddenly from a heart attack? Maybe it was a distant relative or an aunt or an uncle or someone before your time, but not distant, but someone close. And just getting screened, just talking to your doctor, just anything could save a life or your children's life or someone's life, and it's that simple. And 85% of people don't know they have this. 1 in 200 have it. So I am thankful for that awareness and the ability to manage the symptoms of my condition, and just for life, when you've been dead on a table on life support for 2 hours, it could change your whole perspective on life. And so I'm thankful for the moments with colleagues like the ones we spoke to today, like you, like the time with my family. Tomorrow is not promised. We live in a very fleeting world. I'm grateful to live and thankful to live in the United States of America in the year 2024, where I live, I think we're blessed to be alive, even though the world seems scary. And people have said this, and this is definitely stealing from Gary Vee. It's like, you're actually the luckiest humans that have ever lived, because we have the best possible conditions for life on the planet Earth right now, even though it's being destroyed, even though there's a lot, but it's just perspective matters. And so
we got running
just
water, bro. Like,
yeah, like having water, clean water, clean air. And we're at a time of transition, but just remember that, like let's build it together instead of trying to tear things down. That's all I could say. Or if we are reforming, let's do it together. So ladies and gentlemen, that was a heavy ending to this. Happy Thanksgiving.
Spend time with your family and friends.
Yes, this is the e-commerce hotline. We wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy that. Yannick, I'll be seeing you hopefully on Friday. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And tune in next week. If you have any questions, hit us up. And there's more to come.
We'll talk about the brands, right, that we've mentioned that today. We're happy to get you in touch with partners as well. Get to the conversations and achieve your goals.
Amazing. All right, we're going to roll credits. Thank you, everyone.